First of all, I'm a bit a little nervous because I'm a really big fan. Since Miss Violence, I saw here in São Paulo, Mostra International of Cinema. I saw Love Me Not and Dark Times, and now
Dark Crime from you watch everything.
Really? Dark Crime?
yes. Here in Brazil, it's the same title, Crimes Obscuros, as like crimes, yes. And now I congratulate. I saw Quiet Life, and my first question it's about not exactly about the movie, but the situation in Greek cinema. 15 or 10 years ago, it was common to talk with my cinephile friends and journalists about Greek cinema based on films we saw in Brazilian festivals. It felt like the strong violence shown in those stories reflected what the country was going through, especially in economical struggles. How do you see Greek cinema today and the kind of cinema the culture is making now? Because I don't see the same violence of 10 years ago in more recent movies.
I'm not sure if we can I don't know what is Greek cinema, first of all, I have to say, and I don't know what is also Greek with cinema, also not, because if you want to talk about the movement, then somehow, first of all, the people should know each other, and they have to share for like Nouvelle Vague. They were sharing an aesthetic, they were sharing an idea, they were sharing political opinions and things. So I think that this Greek cinema came out because of the situation, and the violence was for I can talk about me, and Miss Violence was, for example, for me very political film because of course it was based in a real story. In Germany happened, not in Greece, but for me it was talking about the Greeks and the Greek government and how they cannot make a revolution against it, and that was the finale of the film behind it, outside of the pedophile story and everything all this, but as a reason for me to do it was also very political. For the rest of the directors, I think they were tending more to weird, to absurd, to more to allegorical in a sense, and I think it ends up that this movement was never a movement. Somehow, Lanthimos is doing other things, I'm doing other things, and our big difference is that my story is always based on true stories. Miss Violence was a real story, Love Me Not also, Quiet Life also, and even Dark Crimes, that was even my script, was a true story. So it's a big difference in the approach. So, but we all love Haneke, maybe, so, or Pasolini, or and if you ask me about the Greek weird cinema, I think the first one doing that was Theo Angelopoulos with the Hunters and Finito, and he's the master of the Greek weird cinema, although he didn't know it at the time, I think that's all about cinema, and I think now the new Greek cinema is split. There is a very naturalistic and very realistic, and the other one following the old Greek weird cinema, let's say, or trying to imitate it, to become very fashionable, because people still like it, or the festivals still want to have it it's like the Romanian.
Okay,
in a sense.
And we have the same perception as an actress about it.
Exactly. The one thing that I dislike in Greek cinema is this repetition. It's just if somebody does a film that goes to Venice Film Festival or a prestigious film festival, then we have a dozen of I mean, maybe it is a healthy reaction. They admire something, but I don't think so. It's a matter of fashion and what is, cool, and now it's. I do not like it. And one thing, the other thing that I dislike in but we do not have the money to do things. I mean, it's such a pity. We have so many talented that are directors, but there are no money.
I mean, when, for example, Doctus was 150,000 euros.
Yes.
Miss Violence was 100,000 euros. Love Me Not was 400,000 euros. Big success. Alps was 350,000 euros. That was the budget. And still, these are the budgets. Although Greece is exporting cultural product, let's say, or direct or something, has nothing changed. They are a little bit trying more, but not on the surface really. They're not investing in the Greek cinema. Although, as you said, there is Greek cinema is existing because in the past Theo Angelopoulos was not Greece, it was Theo Angelopoulos, and now it's like Greek cinema.
Yes.
So.
It was good to hear that perception.
Yeah, we have the same money to do in Brazil, and in Greece we get the same money. So it's the same.
And
situation.
we were supposed to be a country that has a good relationship with the art.
Yes.
Greek culture and everything, and the arts, but we don't.
We pay attention only to Parthenon.
Yes.
Don't put this inside, please. And send it to the Ministry of Culture in Greece and say, yes, you're a Greek director.
I will do that.
No, go do it, no problem.
My second question, some of the contemporaries that you said, like Yorgos Lanthimos, Athena Rachel, and Christos Nikou, in my view, started focusing on more global themes by working with international talents and the stories. Something that you already said. You had a similar experience with dark crimes, and when did you first became interested in this story you tell in Quiet Life? What is the moment we had access to that story to become a movie?
That was 2018. I read an article, and then I found the story. Somehow started digging, and I found this syndrome very interesting, talking about it. And about the more global things, I will not say that Miss Violence or Love Me Not is very Greek, nor the aesthetic, nor the subject. Because also Miss Violence, as I said before, it's a German story, happening in Germany, and the aesthetic is very German. I was looking for creating a pan-European aesthetic and not a Greek one, because Greek aesthetic very often can be like Arabic, because Greece is divided between Arab and Europe, Anatolia and Europe, so we have both influences, let's say. And I was always avoiding the Anatolia part of Greece, so it's more European. And I was living also in Berlin and studied there, so the whole aesthetic is more European, let's say. And I was always interested in themes that they don't have no space, no time, no year. And it's the first time that I add 2018, just because I wanted to be before coronavirus and before the Ukrainian invasion. So that's why I use. Otherwise, this story could be now, or 10 years before, or 20 years after.
Yes.
So this is, I don't know. It's like the Greek tragedies. The subject in it's like can be forever. It's archetypical.
Yes.
I'm trying this. I'm not saying that I'm succeeding, but I'm still trying.
Violence again. In your earlier films, like I mentioned in the first question, the violence was very physical and hard to watch. In Quiet Life, the violence is also intense, but it comes from the cold attitude of the characters towards the family suffering. How did you build this oppressive atmosphere, both from the directors and the actors' point of view?
It's violence exists everywhere, and we cannot close our eyes. And Miss Violence has a reason to be physical, and if you believe that the film is tough, you have to read the real story. I try hard to make it soft. This is what you saw, the soft version of the true story.
Yes.
So, and I think that violence exists in different forms and shapes, let's say, in our lives, in our from our be friends and be have this among people or from the state or in the family. And the aesthetic of Quiet Life is based on a very single thing, or several simple things. One is that the system has an aesthetic that you cannot beat, you never beat. They spend a lot of time thinking about it, and it makes you feel not powerful enough against the system. Second, it's how they feel in this system, in this new country, in this new environment. Cold and distant and alone and B-class citizens, and they are waiting to start their lives again. So you're powerless. If you watch Quiet Life, they are not taking decisions. They are just acting against what somebody else decides for their life. So this is a very difficult way for the narrative to keep the tension high. Because it's not somebody leading, they are just following what somebody else is saying. And the camera is calm, but the actors are super warm and alive, introvert, because there are no more words. And Eleni can discuss about Adriana, maybe more because she's the key character in the film.
Yes.
I think you mean the fact that Adriana, my character, is in this grey zone. In between. I find that silence is more violent, and Alexandros always asks me to do heroes that are silent and very introvert. And now that I'm thinking, is Adriana. Adriana is a very. She's like she's beaten up. She moves like a robot because she wants to belong to the Swedish system, and she has to do everything right.
Yes.
As a child, I thought I think it's when we. Sorry, I have so many thoughts.
Start with one after the other.
When you ask from children to be really good, you have to be good, you have to be polite, you have to be a great student, you have to. This is a secret vibe.
Yes.
That is not compared to the real violence. I
but
have not
it's a
been beaten
form of
up,
violence,
but
yeah.
it's a form of violence that I find really interesting in Alexandros' films.
Yes. And I made that question because the violence, for example, you suffer in Love Me Not,
Yes.
that violence with the man against the woman, it's the same with when the father and mother needs to smile,
Of course.
smile.
I agree.
But Love Me Not is, I think, my best film, I have to say. Because
And I answered that question. It's my favorite film.
Really?
Yes.
because it's the bravest, it's the most angry and the most honest. Quiet Life is also very honest, but for me, if you ask me, in Love Me Not, I wasn't afraid to say what I'm thinking. When in Quiet Life, I have too many parameters, and there is a big difference in the approach of the audience. When in Miss Violence and Love Me Not, especially, I want to beat up the audience to understand and get into the shoes of the character. Now I'm saying, okay, come with me, let's walk together.
Yes.
And this is, I don't know if I'm getting older or if because I believe that the story deserves that. But Love Me Not was, I don't know, when I have a problem with a character, I give it to Eleni. I said fix it.
And Elena, I have a question to you. As I said, I'm a big fan of your work. I think you are incredible actress, especially the expression of your eyes through the camera. And I have a curiosity about your career because you you worked a lot with Avranas, and I didn't see you in another movies. And I have this curiosity why you always work
Yes.
with him.
Yes, it's a big yes.
If you do theater or you have another.
Exactly. I always do theater in the. I began from the theater, the National Theater in Greece. You know, modern and classical repertoire. And first of all, I was in this, πώς η γενιά, this generation of actresses that we know that theater is, the base. If you don't know how to play on stage, you are not a real actor.
You are nothing.
You are nothing. And I never did TV. I never did another, movies. I always said no because, to tell you the truth, in Greece, before Lanthimos and some other Athena or maybe some other directors, there is not something really exciting for me to do. I didn't want to go and be the beautiful one, and I had other dreams. So I always said no, and I was always on theater, on stage. But when I met Alex Josh, we start communicating.
Yes.
I found somebody who.
I can reply for you honest. He loves to say no.
Yes, yes.
So if, even to me, I have to convince her to get a part.
Okay.
No, I'm not a rich person. I have to live from my work, but I prefer to live with less than be, really sad. And I'm not so ambitious, also. So no is a way for me to keep my dreams. The hope that my dreams and the collaboration with great actors gives me more joy than.
So please, Avranas, do more films.
Yeah.
Please, more leading roles, please.
Yes.
Yeah, but let's see.
It was a really pleasure to talk to you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Thank you
I
very
hope
much.
my question was.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
And Avranas, just
Another question?
Yes, about your first film, Without.
Without?
Where I
What
can
happened?
see it. I really want to see that movie, but
I don't know. Me
Why
neither.
don't you say it?
I don't have it.
You don't have it?
No. It was a 35 euros film, very good.
Great film, great.
But I know only 3 people that love the film. All the rest is like they can beat you up if you watch the film because I decide that okay, the film doesn't have to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Can be reversed. So where the film ends could start.
okay.
So it was very
It's a great film.
whatever it is. If I found it, I will send you.
Next time, bring me the DVD if you have one.
That's a good idea. Maybe I will find one.
Thank you again.
Thank you very, very much.